players I'm most excited about this upcoming year are wide receivers DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. After being eased into the starting lineup in 2018, DJ and Curtis were made the most of the opportunities that they were given, making play after play, solidifying starting roles and never looking back. Now entering their second year together, DJ and Curtis will look to take that next step and become that dynamic wide receiver duo that the Carolina Panthers have been missing since the days of Steve Smith and Mushin Muhammad. Both DJ and Curtis share a unique ability to be able to create yards after catch and turn into running backs once they get the ball in their hands. But it's their differences that make them unique, and their games can complement each other very well. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at what DJ and Curtis were able to accomplish last year, where they can evolve their games to take that next step, and what to expect from them as we enter this 2019 season. DJ Moore will look to build off a productive rookie season where he had over 900 yards from scrimmage and was a key piece of the Panthers' offense. New offensive coordinator Norv Turner found a variety of ways to get DJ the ball in his hands, whether through jet sweeps and reverses or swing and screen passes. In 2018, DJ led all wide receivers in yards after contact, and his 17 forced missed tackles after the catch ranked third in the NFL. He primarily won in the short game, whether through swing and screen passes or slants and shallow crosses. He was also very productive on in-breaking routes such as curls, deep ends, and deep over routes. DJ was most effective in zone coverage, where he was able to get a free release off the line of scrimmage. They could get the ball in his hands early and let him do what he does best. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he has a unique ability to turn into a running back and does a great job of absorbing contact, maintaining his balance through contact, which allows him to break tackles and get that extra additional yardage. An area where I'd like to see DJ evolve in year 2 is being able to consistently defeat man press coverage. Now, there were times he did do well against man press when he's able to use his strength and physicality and out-muscle cornerbacks. You know, he's a very good athlete, very strong and physical, so when he's able to use that to his advantage, he can be successful, but you're not going to be able to win like that consistently. You have to have a variety of ways that you can defeat the cornerback and gain separation. Now, when I talk about route running, there's 3 things I like to look at. 1, your initial release. You know, how well are you getting that initial release off the line of scrimmage to create that initial separation? 2nd is the stem of your route. You know, what are you doing to create that leverage advantage and give your quarterback a throwing window? And then lastly, I want to see how you explode out of your breaks. On the topic of route running, let's do a side-by-side comparison of DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. On this play, they're both going to be running deep over routes from the inside slot receiver position against man coverage. First, let's take a look at DJ's release. As you see, he immediately gets into his route and he allows the corner to crowd him and get on his hip pocket right away. So he's not able to gain that advantage immediately after his release. Now let's watch Curtis Samuel against Marshawn Lattimore, who's lined up in press coverage. Curtis is going to give him a single move, and watch how he gets Lattimore on his back feet and squares him up. So he's able to get that initial separation and get a free release to the inside against the defender. Now on the stem of the route, DJ is just going to continue running in a straight line and never quite be able to separate from the defender. Curtis is going to square his shoulders upfield and turn vertical. Now look how he gets the corner to turn with him, as he has to now be aware that Curtis can possibly go deep, so he has to turn and run. Now Curtis is going to plant his foot in the ground and explode out of his cut. Now look at the separation that he's able to gain and give Cam Newton that big throwing window. So you just see the difference in route running there. I think Norv Turner said it best. If DJ shows the same intensity before he catches the ball that he does after he catches the ball, he'll be a force to deal with for years to come. Now with that said, DJ's still young, and I think he can eventually evolve and become a great route runner. He has the athletic profile to do it and showed improvements throughout the year. Here against Marshawn Lattimore, he does a good job using a stutter step to get a free outside release. And what I like what he does here is that he gets on top of the defender and he's able to leave enough room between him and the sideline to give his quarterback a place to put the ball. Then he just outfights Lattimore for the football. You see his strong hands and ability to win in contested catch situations there. Then against Seattle, the cornerback's going to be using his bail technique. So what DJ wants to do is explode out of his stance to close the cushion as quickly as possible, then stem his route towards the cornerback's blind spot. You see DJ do a good job of both of those things, and watch as he sinks his hips and comes back to the sideline for the ball. Look at the separation he's able to create on this route. So you just see when he puts that same intensity before he catches the ball that he does after he has the ball in his hands, he can become a force to be dealt with. And then everybody's favorite route against the Detroit Lions. He's going to explode out of his stance, get his eyes and shoulders upfield to sell this inside route, then watch him sink and flip his hips, and all the separation he's able to get towards the back of the end zone, and Cam's able to put the ball and does a good job of getting 2 feet down. So you just see the potential he has, and you just have to be excited about what DJ Moore can become. Now, my last point about DJ is that sometimes you just encounter a player that's so athletically gifted that he's an exception to the rule in certain cases. He may not get separation on a certain route, but his ability to win in a contested catch situation and break tackles makes up for it. You're still able to generate a big play. Perfect example against the Detroit Lions. The Panthers are backed up in their own end zone, and they're going to run this curl route to DJ Moore. But watch here as his despite not getting separation, he's able to high point the ball, elude the defenders, break several tackles, and he's off to the races for 82 yards. So I think with DJ, you have to be careful not to be so over-analytical that you fail to appreciate the athletic gifts that he possesses. Now, as far as his route tree, it's similar to what he ran at Maryland with primarily the slants and short crossers. You know, and guys in the NFL have had success, perfecting the short to intermediate game. 2 guys that come to mind are Jarvis Landry and Golden Tate. But what I like about what Landry and Tate's teams did this year, they added players that can complement their games. Guys that can stretch the field, line up on the outside, and consistently defeat man-press coverage and gain separation. The Browns added Odell Beckham and the Eagles added Deshaun Jackson. So the question is, did the Panthers have a guy on the roster that can complement DJ's game in that same manner? My answer to that question is yes, and it's none other than number 10, Curtis Samuel. In 2018, Curtis had over 500 yards from scrimmage and scored 7 touchdowns, and this was despite, missing a lot of time early on in the year. In addition, according to Pro Football Focus, he was very efficient in passes of 10 yards or greater. And I even think this stat is understated, as with Cam Newton's shoulder condition, he wasn't able to consistently push the ball down the field. Now, when you look at Curtis's route tree, you just see the variety of ways that the Panthers were able to get him the ball and how he was able to win. This was an area where I think he really improved last year, was being able to run a deep route tree, a variety of routes, consistently gain separation and win in a variety of ways. So that's what we're going to look at as we go through Curtis Samuel's film. First, let's watch Curtis run this fade route against man coverage. On the release, he's going to quickly close the corner's cushion. He's going to use his triple move to freeze the corner and get him on his heels. Now watch how he's able to use the swim move to get over top of him, and look at the separation he's able to create right away. Then he does a great job of adjusting to the football, getting down in bounds, and scoring the touchdown for the Panthers. Let's watch Curtis work against man coverage and try to run this comeback route. Here, Samuel's going to use a single move and get an outside release. He does a good job of getting the corner's hands off him. Now watch him sink and turn his hips. Look at the separation he's able to create, and the Panthers are able to get another completion on the play. Now against Seattle, Curtis will be lined up in the slot. In this case, the corner is going to be playing outside leverage, and Curtis wants to run this out route. So what he's going to have to do is get the corner to turn to create that separation. He stems his route inside initially. Now watch him attack the corner's weak hip and turn him around. Now look at the separations he's able to get again, and the Panthers are able to get another completion on the play. Down in the red zone against Tampa, Curtis is going to be working against off coverage against his Buccaneers corner. On this time, he wants to run his post route, so he's going to stem his route outside towards the corner's outside shoulder, and that gives him enough room inside to work his way back towards the post, get in for the touchdown, another 6 points for Curtis Samuel. Samuel's ability to consistently win on quick slant routes can make him an effective red zone weapon for the Panthers. Here he's lined up in the bottom of your screen facing press coverage against the Seahawks. Gonna get a good inside release, get the corner's hands off him. Now watch him square his shoulders and turn upfield. This causes the corner to also turn his shoulders with him. This is gonna allow Curtis to plant his foot, explode out of his break, and create that separation on the slant route, giving Cam Newton the throwing window to get the touchdown. And then here against the Saints, you see him be able to attack the defense vertically as he's able to split the safety and the cornerback, get behind them, and get into the end zone. So this is what I want to see more of with Curtis Samuel in his third year, is being able to win on these vertical routes. Last year, he was able to win a lot of times, but Cam's shoulder just didn't allow him to push the ball downfield like he's normally able to. But hopefully after the shoulder procedure he just had and being able to tweak those throwing mechanics a little bit, we can get back to seeing that 2015 Cam Newton with that rocket arm that can push the ball downfield to guys like Ted Ginn and Philly Brown. With Curtis Samuel on the field now and a couple other speed guys the Panthers acquired this offseason, Torrey Smith coming back, he should have a lot of vertical threats, so the team should have plenty of opportunities to push the ball downfield. Now, the only area where I want to see Curtis improve at a bit is just consistently attacking the football with his hands. He was a body catcher coming out of Ohio State. He bought the jugs machine to improve his hands last offseason, and you could really see the difference. So hopefully that part of his game continues to evolve. So there you have it. You have a lot to be excited about with this Panthers wide receiving duo. Look for them to make explosive plays this season, and give us that 1-2 punch that the team has been missing for a long time.